Hi, welcome back to the Ornery Latina. I'm Dee Velez, and tonight's topic is all on illegal immigration. You know, somebody nailed it right on Fox News. Charles Krauthammer said that Jeb Bush's quote was a little bit out of sync with the American people. A little bit of out of sync? Where does Jeb Bush say that illegal immigration isn't out of an act of love for their children? I commend people wanting to come here for a better life, but we have laws and procedures on the books. And to give amnesty to 12 million or 50 million or however million people crashing the border is completely unreasonable, especially in these economic times. The one thing that I have an issue with is that there are many children around the globe who are in need of coming to America. There are kids in Africa that are starving. They have AIDS, completely living a horrible life. You know, there also are kids in the Middle East who are being used by ISIS to become terrorists and are being abused all over the globe. It's not just Mexico's poverty that we're dealing with here. And I don't think that granting an amnesty for 12 million people is the answer. We have laws on the books, laws that have been around for centuries, and they're not being upheld. We have a federal government who their hands are tied behind their back because we have people thinking that illegal immigration is a civil right. Is it a civil right to allow billions of people into the country unlimitedly, you know, for 30 years and just kind of turn a blind eye to all this? Is it okay to court their illegal votes? Is it all right to grant Dream Acts for their children to attend in-state tuition college and get free government assistance to go to school for free at the expense of many kids not being able to find work, attend college themselves, or find their niche in life because we are giving bountiful benefits to illegal immigrants? I also need you to understand that it's not an issue of an act of love. It's an issue of sovereignty for this land and for this country and for what we have here in America that is granting us these bountiful benefits that not a lot of American people can have access to. One of the things I want him to understand is in an act of love for an illegal like Louis Bracamontes, who killed a Sacramento cop and killed him and fired on him after being deported twice. Isn't an act of love that we are completely allowing an open border for all the children from Mexico to be harbored here without their folks coming across and without a place for them? Isn't an act of love, or is it fair to give 12 million people, or how many million people are out there, amnesty and allowing them to cut in line before the other people who have waited patiently to become citizens? You know, is it okay that people break the laws and expect special treatment because they are of Mexican heritage? And is that bigotry? I know that when my family came to this country, they had to learn English, like so many other families when they came to this country. And one of the things that really drives me is that this is a land of opportunity for all immigrants who come here. And so when we're talking about the act of love, because you know I'm a very loving person too, and I love people. And is it an act of love to grant special privileges to just a certain group of people and then deny everybody else? Is it an act of love giving driver's licenses to illegal immigrants who don't carry insurance, who often leave the scene of an accident crime because they're underinsured or not insured? Is it an act of love giving these temporary IDs out to the illegals who can't even take the test in English and pass it, can't even read the road signs, and can't even drive like decent human beings because they still think they're in Mexico? Isn't it an act of love to allow criminal aliens who smuggle drugs and maybe little kids who are sex slaved here in this country to keep the border open as we are doing and just turning a blind eye and not being able to address this issue? Is that an act of love? We're talking about we are trillions of dollars in debt. And is it an act of love that many people cannot go with insurance because so many illegals are on the plan? When you look at the whole issue and you look about, you know, people making these statements that's an act of love, you have to question their motives. I would like to have somebody that I can vote for that has integrity, who stands up for something other than things that are illegal And I want Mr. Bush to think about the fact that we call it illegal immigration not because we're being bigoted, but because we're being American. Thank you and have a nice evening.